Hello, Bruce.
Hi, Simon.
How are you then?
I'm fabulous, thank you very much. How are you?
I am all right, Tar.
Are you?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Well, that's all right then.
Good. And hello, everyone listening to us. We hope you are equally well.
Hi there.
Why are people listening to us, Bruce? Who are we? What do we have to
We're
say?
very important people who are worth listening to. No, we are not worthy. We are nerds.
Yes.
Who like talking. So part one is we do a podcast called Factoraly.
Factoraly. I've heard of that.
Yeah. So, which is about half an hour's worth of nonsense about a various different subject every time.
Yes.
And we talk about stuff that we either hope sounds boring, but we make it interesting, or sounds interesting and we keep it interesting.
Yes. What we don't want is to accidentally make anything sound boring.
No, that would be wrong.
That would be very sad, wouldn't it?
That would be very sad. And the second thing is we like talking. Well, it's just as what we do, because we're both voiceover artists, actors, entertainers, voiceovers, whatever you like to call us. We use our voices.
We do.
Because frankly, we've got faces for radio.
We've actually got very similar faces for radio these days.
Yeah.
As my beard gets a little greyer.
You're getting grey. I've gone.
We'll pass that moment.
So tell me about a subject, Simon.
Tell you about a subject. Any particular subject would you like me to tell you about?
Yes. You know when you're at school
Yes.
and you do something wrong and they make you write out a sentence several times?
Sure.
What do they call that?
They call that lines.
Is that what we're talking about today?
Almost. We're not doing lines. We're doing lions.
Lions.
Pretty close.
Roaring lions.
Yes, those things. What's your definition of a lion? How would you describe a lion to someone who's never seen one?
It's a big cat with a ruff.
Yeah. Yeah, that works.
So they are big cats.
They are.
King of the jungle.
Yes, now this used to confuse me because I hadn't realised there were two varieties of lion. I thought lions were all from Africa.
Yes.
And they sort of live on the Savannah, in the open plains, etc., etc. Why on earth are they the king of the jungle? It's not really a jungly area, is it?
Actually, do you know what? I'd never thought of that. Yes, you're right.
It's always perturbed me.
Yes.
However, there are two types of lion. There's an African lion, which is the one I
Yes.
think most of us think of which there are around 20,000 out in the wild.
Is that all?
Not terribly many, but even fewer, at only 800 of them in the world, is the Asiatic lion. And the Asiatic lion lives in parts of India. And therefore, that one could potentially be the king of the jungle, because India is a little bit more jungly than Africa, I guess.
I guess.
But yes, I've never been too happy with king of the jungle. I'd prefer king of the savannah or king of the plains or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's not an awful lot of difference between those two. Essentially, the African lion has a bigger mane and a smaller tuft on the end of their tail.
Oh, okay. Yes. I guess the tuft on the end of the tail is as they whip their tail, as they're sort of looking a bit menacing.
That's it, yeah.
How many did you say you reckon there were?
So only around 800 Asiatic lions in the world, around 20,000 African lions in the wild, obviously, not in captivity.
Well, yes, you say in the wild, because I reckon there are around about 7,000 lions just in America.
Really?
Yes.
That's quite a few.
So in private collections, owned privately, in zoos, there are between 5,000 and 7,000 lions in the US.
That's quite a lot of lions, isn't it?
It is quite a lot.
Huh. Okay, so that's sort of a quarter of the world's population of lions are living in the United States then.
I know.
How very odd.
Yeah. But they're sort of a part of a family of big cats, aren't they? There's all sorts of big cats.
Yes, they are, aren't they? I've been a cat owner in the past, and they really are quite similar. I mean, other than the fact that lions are huge and would kill you, they're quite similar. They have similar characteristics. You sort of watch a lion, flopping around on its back with its legs in the air and playing with its siblings or its parents or whatever. They are quite similar. Obviously, you wouldn't necessarily want to keep one of them in your house.
Yes.
But they're undoubtedly related to each other.
Interesting. They do unusual things, though, don't they? I mean, I read about what lions do that's slightly unusual. So, different to other cats, when they roar, They roar together as a group.
Oh, do they?
And even the cubs join in. So when I go on my morning walk with my dog in Regent's Park, I will occasionally hear the lions roaring from the zoo.
Yes, of course.
And there's this kind of like, it doesn't really sound like a roar. It sounds like something doing heavy breathing.
Yes. No, I think the classic idea of a roaring lion, I don't think that's sort of their main vocalization, is it? They grunt and they sort of growl a bit, don't they?
But yes, they sort of more growl.
Yeah. Yeah.
The big kind of roar that we're used to hearing is not usual.
No.
Although, obviously that makes them easier to hear. What makes them harder to hear is a storm.
Okay.
And what lions have done is lions have worked out that actually if you hunt during a storm, because of the rain and the wind, prey find it harder to hear them.
Oh, really?
So lions are what they call storm hunters.
Oh.
So they actually hunt during storms.
That's brilliant.
That's when they can be asked because they're very lazy.
Yeah, this is sort of one of the other things that reminds me of a house cat, really, is the fact that they can hunt, they can chase after prey, they'll take down a zebra or a wildebeest or
yes,
one of those deery things that I can't remember the name of.
Gazelle,
things like that. But only if they really have to, If they don't have to, then they jolly well won't. Lions actually scavenge quite a lot.
Oh, yes, of course they do.
So they'll sort of let other creatures take down an animal, something a bit faster and nippier and more athletic.
Yes.
And then the lion will sort of swagger in with its size and its weight and its heft.
Yeah.
And just sort of bully the other creatures off the site and take their prey. So if they don't have to hunt, they won't. They can go a reasonable amount of time without eating. So they'll really only go at it when it's really necessary.
Well, the male lions sleep up to about 20 hours a day.
Do they really?
Yeah,
Crikey.
and even the females who actually do the hunting.
Yes.
I mean, the males don't really do much hunting.
Yeah.
So it's the females who do the hunting, and they sleep sort of 15 to 18 hours a day.
Gosh, that's not a bad life, is it?
Well, I don't know. If you like sleeping. So sleep, hunt, eat, repeat.
Yes, exactly. When males go out hunting, they tend to do it alone. It's just one intimidating lion with a great big mane going after its prey.
Yes.
When the females hunt, they sort of tend to go in groups, and they're quite strategic. You'll have a sort of a couple around the outskirts trying to corral their prey.
Yes.
And then one or two will sort of go in for the kill. In the centre, they're
like
quite,
stalks around an ambush.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're quite cooperative. Whereas if it's just a male lion, he'll just go at it on his own.
Bring down the wildebeest or whatever it is.
Indeed, yeah. Using their paws, they don't sort of. I have this image of a lion chasing after a whatever it is.
Yes.
And
going for the
fighting
jugular.
it. Yes. In a sort of the cartoon Madagascar.
Yes, exactly.
in that kind of manner.
Alex.
That's right, yes. Alex biting Marty in the rear end. But that's not how they do it. They sort of run after the prey, they jump, and they essentially just sort of grip onto the prey's rear end with their massive, massive paws, which are very big and weighty and have very sharp claws.
Yeah.
They bring it to the ground and they pretty much suffocate the thing to death. They'll sort of put their paw on the creature's neck until it dies.
Yeah.
So yes, they don't sort of rip your throat out with their teeth or anything like that. Their teeth are strong; they can crush bone, and you certainly wouldn't want to voluntarily put your arm in one. But that's not their main weapon.
Although what farmers in Africa have started doing, which is quite interesting, is painting eyes on the arses of their cattle.
Really?
Yeah, because the lions like to creep up to things from behind.
Yes.
And if they think it's facing towards them, they won't do that.
Brilliant. I love that.
So it's a very good way of stopping your cow from being eaten by a lion. So what does a lion drink?
I would automatically say water, unless you know something different.
Well, given that they live in the Kalahari,
Okay.
I mean, taps are fairly few and far between, as are things like ponds and rivers and drinking holes and stuff like that. So where you don't have that, you have to kind of rely on the vegetation.
Sure, yeah.
So they can get water from plants and fruits. And one of the things they go for is the tsama melon,
Okay.
which is I think it's called spotted water in the Kalahari. So it's a melon that grows in the Kalahari that's full of water. So it's like all melons are.
Yes.
So they drink those. They eat a melon and have their drink that way.
Brilliant. I can't think of anything less lion-y.
I know. Can I have a slice of melon, please?
Yes. Forget the keepers chucking steak at me. I just like a melon. Thank you.
Yes. Just a couple of slices of honeydew, please.
That's great.
Nice. Yeah.
Huh. I looked into how old lions are, not individually their age, but, how long have they been around? Longer than I thought. An ancestor of the African lion appeared somewhere between 2 and 5 million years ago.
Mm-hmm.
A bit bigger, a bit chunkier, but most distinctly a lion.
Yeah.
And these things, were purely based in East Africa. And then over time they, sort of migrated across back when there was a large land mass and not so many oceans in between.
Yeah.
They migrated to Asia and Europe and even North America. So we used to have wild lions in those places. A couple of million years ago, they eventually became extinct, and we sort of ended up with the ones in Africa and the ones in India. And that was pretty much it. Nothing else in between. But yeah, I hadn't quite realised they'd been around for that long.
And they weren't sort of saber-toothed like the tigers.
No, they were a distinct species,
Okay.
separate from tigers or.
Well, you do get them sort of mating. That you get ligons and things.
Oh, you get ligers, don't you?
Yes.
A liger, I think, specifically has to be a male lion mating with a female tiger.
Yes.
I don't know what it is if it's the other way around.
I think it's a tigon.
Is it?
Yes.
That's great. A wonderful word.
But when lions generally, when they have cubs, they're born with spots.
Oh, yes, you're right. They are, aren't they?
So the idea is that it's camouflage. So a lion cub can go and hide in the savannah, and because it's spotted, it's not spotted.
Yes.
So where does the word lion come from?
The word lion has quite a boring etymology. It's in one form or another, it's always meant lion.
Okay.
So it's a Middle English word, lion, derived from the Old French lion,
Yes.
which comes from the Latin word leo.
Okay.
The Latin word came from the ancient Greek word leon, and that's it. It's always sounded roughly like lion, and it's always meant lion.
Because the reason I ask is because I've seen lions as part of a statue of things. I've seen lions as a sphinx, for example.
Oh, okay, yes.
So because of Leo being like the fifth sign of the zodiac, it's sort of like July and August, which was when sort of the time of year when the Nile flooded.
All right.
So the idea of the Nile giving life to the land and therefore growing crops. So lions were kind of part of this sort of fertility thing in Egyptian folklore.
Right, which is why they've got such a thing about cat-shaped gods and sphinxes
cats
and things.
and lions. Yeah.
Well, I'd never realised that before.
But then you sort of go on past them to the Romans, who seem to enjoy throwing Christians to the lions.
Oh, yes, they did, didn't they?
I wasn't sure if this was true. Having seen the latest Gladiator and thinking, well, surely they didn't throw them to the crocodiles or the sharks or whatever it was that they had in the arena in Gladiator 2, which just was so bizarre.
Do you mean to say that Gladiator isn't a reliable historical source, Bruce?
It's not an entirely accurate documentary.
Oh.
I'm sorry about that.
Disappointing.
So I looked into it, and yes, the Romans did throw Christians to the lions.
Right.
It was considered a very bad way to die if you were extremely evil in the eyes of Roman law. That was one of the worst ways to kill you. I mean,
Right.
they could crucify you and everything like that, but throwing you to the lions was like the really bad thing. Unless, of course, you had taken a thorn out of the paw.
Oh, yes.
of a lion, and your name was Androcles.
Yes, of course.
So that was a fable about a slave who finds a lion that is poorly and has a thorn in its paw, and he's terrified, but he wants to help the lion, so he takes the thorn out of the lion's paw, and they become friends, and then they meet in the arena, and the slave is saved because he's actually made friends with the lion because he's taken the thorn out of his paw.
Excellent.
And this was turned into another play by George Bernard Shaw as well, which is more of an allegory.
Right.
But the Androcles and the lion thing is quite good fun.
Brilliant. There's another fable, a Chinese fable about a lion getting captured in a net. This lion had previously attempted to chase and kill a mouse, and the mouse had escaped.
Yeah.
And then the mouse sees this lion captured in a net and says, I'll help you by chewing through the ropes on your net. And the lion's very dubious, saying, how can something as small and weak as you help me, the king of the beasts? But this mouse chews through the net, and the lion is saved, and the mouse and the lion are friends.
There we go. So you don't have to be big to be useful.
Indeed, yes.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Actually, the more I think about it, the more lions appear in fables and stories. You know, you have, thinking of the Romans throwing Christians to the lions, you have Daniel surviving the lion's den,
In the lion's den, yes, of course.
And see our episode on sweets, the bees making
out of
in
strength,
the guts of
out of strength comes
out of
sweetness.
strength comes sweetness. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, which was the emblem for
Tate and Lyle's golden
syrup. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And then, of course, you've got the Lion of Judah, haven't you?
You have, yes.
So there's a lot of biblical and sort of olden days lions around.
I guess they're reasonably iconic creatures, aren't they? They sort of symbolise strength, and they're used quite a lot in various empires. You know, there are so many places dotted around London and other parts of this country where you have statues of lions on things to sort of represent strength and courage and bravery and so on.
Yes. Lions are pretty cool. I have actually walked with lions.
Oh, I knew this. I've seen a photo of this.
So there are a lot of these places where they take the teeth out of the lions' mouths and they sedate them and stuff, and then you can walk with them. But these ones weren't like that at all. These were proper lions that had been brought up with people since they were cubs. And we all went walking with lions. And they would meet up in the trees, and the lions would climb trees, because lions can.
They can, yes.
And pick up their treats from trees.
Brilliant.
But yeah, walking with lions was quite something.
Yes, I bet. I think my closest experience of a lion is sort of driving through Woburn Safari Park or something like that.
Oh, yes.
They do seem to spend quite a lot of time lazing around in trees, don't they? They do like a bit of a climb. They always have raised platforms and things to
That's right.
either sit upon or take shade under or whatever.
Yeah. I once walked past the zoo and there's one just laying there in a tree. It looked very cool.
Just like a cat.
Well, yes.
Wouldn't want to call the fire brigade to get a lion out of the tree, though, would you?
No, I guess not. But then in the olden days, when there were circuses that had animals in them, there were lion tamers.
Yes, of course there were, yeah.
Classically in a red sort of tailcoat with a top hat and a whip and a chair.
Yes.
And they would show their control over these huge beasts by, one of the things that they did occasionally was put their head into the mouth of a lion.
Yeah, people don't really do that anymore, do they?
They don't. There are several reasons why. It often didn't end well, but also the use of animals like that in circuses is frowned upon these days.
Yeah.
A friend of mine showed up at another friend's wedding, dressed as a lion tamer.
Okay.
He had like the red coat on and the hat and the chair and the whip.
Right.
And that's how he showed up to this chap's wedding.
How unusual.
Yeah. Hello, Adrian.
Unless the rest of the wedding was circus themed, in which case that's fairly standard. But
yeah, Adrian was often doing things like that. There's something that can kill a lion.
Is there? What's that then?
Yes. It's really surprising.
Can
you stick your neck out here?
A giraffe?
Yeah.
Why?
So
How?
A giraffe's kick can decapitate a lion.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So most animals, the lion will sneak up on from behind.
Yeah.
but they'll generally leave giraffes alone if they can. Because if you get behind a giraffe and it gives you a damn good kick, it can take your head off.
Wow. Well, that makes the cartoon Madagascar even more impressive, that those two were friends.
Yes. Actually, thinking back to the zoo, I once wrote a commercial for Allinson's Bread.
Right.
And I based the script of this commercial on an old Stanley Holloway monologue called Albert and the Lion.
Oh, I remember Albert and the Lion.
So Albert and the Lion was the inspiration for Bread with Nout Taken Out.
Now, that's interesting. I was about to show complete and utter shock and surprise and say, you didn't write Allinson's with Nout Taken Out, did you? And just as I was processing that, I thought, well, yeah, I think I knew that, actually. It's still impressive.
So The Lion and Albert, which is all about a visit to the zoo where a lion eats a small boy.
That's right.
I'll tell you what, we have show notes.
Oh, yes, we do.
For these things. And I do warn you that they are very, very bad places to go if you have anything else to do with your time. But they are places where you'll find lots more information about lions and about more of the things that we're going to be talking about in this podcast. So go there.
And where can people find those show notes, Bruce?
I write them down in a small book.
So nip round to Bruce's place, borrow the book.
Yes, exactly. Just eat one at a time. It's actually on our blog. So if you go to factoraly.com.
Factoraly.com.
Yep. And you go to the blog and you'll find our show notes on all of our over 100 episodes. So if you're laid up in hospital or something like that, this is a really good place to go to find out useless information and stuff.
You'll be so much better off for it.
Oh, absolutely. Lions are sort of fairly athletic creatures as well, aren't they?
You mean when they're not laying around being completely lazy?
When they're not laying around, they look kind of muscular and sexy and cool.
Yeah, they do.
Which is probably why they're used as an icon by so many sports teams.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got like the Detroit Lions in America. And then you've got, I think we've done this before, haven't we?
If we're going where I think you're going, yes, I think we have. But we can do it again.
Okay. So we can talk about Tom Smith's 1910 South African rugby team.
Not where I thought you were going, but okay.
Okay. So when the Scots went to South Africa, they were wearing dark blue jerseys with white shorts, like the Saltire.
Sure.
Scottish. But they also had a single, what's called a lion rampant on the crest.
Yes, okay. That's a lion standing up on its back legs with its front legs going raw.
Exactly. And in 1924, they went back to South Africa and they still kept the blue jerseys, but they also had the lion on the shirt. And that tour in 1924 was called the Lions Tour. Because of the lion on the shirt. Right. And then that eventually went to the four-quartered badge with the four represented unions of England, Scotland, Ireland and Wales. And one of those obviously has the three
lions on your shirt.
Lions.
Yes, except.
Except what, Simon?
Well, they're not really lions, are they?
Well, when they're lying down, they're actually called leopards. But when they're up and rampant, when they're sort of on their back legs, they're lions.
Yeah. But
when they're laying down, they're called leopards.
Isn't that interesting?
So it's actually technically three leopards on your shirt.
And I think actually I seem to remember having seen imagery of coats of arms from quite a long way back. And these three iconic lions do look a little bit spotty, as if to suggest that they were actually intended to be three leopards rather than lions.
Interesting. But three leopards on your shirt doesn't work as well as three lions, does it?
No, it doesn't sound quite as catchy, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Three leopards on a shirt. No. And lions are just more, they seem more regal, don't they? You know, because they are nicknamed the king of the jungle or the king of beasts.
Yeah. They
do sort of have a slightly royal association to them, don't they?
Yeah. So the three lions are quite well known in the UK.
Yeah.
What other well-known lions can you think of?
There was one particular famous lion I had a little poke around, and that is the MGM lion.
Oh, yes, Leo.
All 11 of them.
So tell me about Leo the MGM lion.
Well, Leo the MGM lions, plural.
Yes.
This started out in 1916. Way back in the early days of black and white and
Yeah.
silent movies and so on. And you picture that iconic lion poking its head through that circular hole with MGM written around it and roaring away.
Yes.
The first one didn't roar. It just sort of looked left and right a bit.
Oh, okay.
And that was it. Because it was in the days of silent movies. There was no point in it going roar.
Yes.
But yeah, so this lion was only used for the duration of its life. And when it sadly passed away, they got in another lion, and then another lion, and then another lion, rather than just keeping the same old recording. So there was a whole lineage of these lions, each of which sort of fulfilled that role for a handful of years. And there have been 11 of them in total. And they had some jolly interesting names. The first lion was called Slats.
Slats.
Slats, as in wooden slats. No idea why.
Okay. Where did they get him from?
He was born in Dublin Zoo.
Okay.
And then after Slats came Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie also appeared in over 100 films, from Tarzan to various other things.
As a star.
As a star, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So you could be watching this film which has the roaring lion in the opening credits, and then they're actually in the film as well. And this one, Jackie, this was the first one to be nicknamed Leo. It was specifically nicknamed Leo the Lucky Lion, because Jackie the lion, during its lifetime, managed to survive several accidents, including 2 train wrecks, a sinking ship, an earthquake, an explosion on set, and an airplane crash.
Oh, wow. An aeroplane crash as well.
Yeah, they were sort of transporting the lion in a cage from one filming location to another one. The plane crashed, the lion survived. Didn't say about the people.
Because they used to tour the lion, didn't they? When they were opening a new film, they would go around with a lion in a cage.
That's
right. Was that the actual lion that they took?
That was one of the lions. I don't remember which one, because there have been so many. They all sort of blur into one after a while. But they certainly did do that. And then after Jackie, you had lions called Numa, Telly, Coffee, Tanner, George, and then the only one that was actually officially called Leo.
Right.
And Leo the lion is the one that we still have in movies today. So they started just, reusing the same lion eventually.
Because they've tried sort of like replacing it with a CGI lion and things like that, haven't they?
They did, yes. They tried a CGI lion. I didn't like that at all. I thought that looked ridiculous. But yeah, that's probably one of the most notable lions I can think of that has starred through its various incarnations in thousands of movies.
Because they used the roar of that original lion.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a roar, was it? I think it was the lion was actually yawning.
Right. So
and they dubbed the roar onto it.
That's right. Yeah. So this was Jackie. Jackie was the first one to roar, and as you say, they sort of took lots and lots of attempts at recording a roar from Jackie, and he would never do it on cue. So they just videoed him yawning and then recorded him roaring later on and put the one over the other.
Stitched it together.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, wow. Because I heard that, sound used to be fairly rough when it was first invented, and then gradually it sort of got better and better until we got to the era of sort of stereo in films and things like that. And then they realised that that lion roar was in mono,
right?
And it was a bit dull, a bit quiet, and a bit muffled.
Yeah.
So the sound guy took it upon himself to try and find a better roar.
Okay. And
the roar that we hear now is actually a tiger.
That's interesting. Now, that is interesting. Right at the start, when we said that lions don't really roar that much, they sort of growl and grunt and breathe heavily, I was instantly thinking of the roaring lion in the opening to the MGM sequence. And now you've said that out loud, you can totally tell that is not the sound of a lion.
No, it's
That's the sound of a roaring tiger, which does make much more of a roar.
Yes.
Oh, I feel like I've been cheated, Bruce.
So what other famous lions can you think of?
Well, another one I had a look at was my first childhood understanding of a lion turned out to be completely and utterly inaccurate. It was 4 guys that hung around in Trafalgar Square.
Okay. Oh, yes.
The lions at the bottom of Nelson's column.
At the bottom there, yes.
And I remember as a kid naturally assuming that they were life-size. I thought that's how big a lion was. I thought they were monsters. And then the first time I went to a zoo and saw a real lion, I was really disappointed.
Yeah, that's a bit pathetic.
But the lions at the bottom of Nelson's column weren't an original part of the feature. They were actually added later as an afterthought. And the way the artist sculpted these lions, he actually got the body of a deceased lion from London Zoo that had passed from natural causes.
Yeah.
And he said, "Do you mind if I take that and I take it back to my studio and study it and draw it and so on?" And because it had sort of shuffled off this mortal coil, the artist was able to pose it, however he wanted to pose it. And he sat the thing in a very, very Sphinx-like position.
Pose, yeah.
So if you look at the lions at Trafalgar Square, that's not how a lion sits.
Right.
It's too square, it's too symmetrical.
Perfect. Yes.
Too perfect, exactly, yeah. But those actually weren't the original 4 lions. They went through quite a few different permutations. Quite a few different artists submitted ideas as to how they should look. The original lions were actually going to be life-sized, and the 4 lions were going to be different. They were going to represent different characteristics.
Because the Victorians did that a lot, didn't they? So
they did, yes.
Ingenuity and engineering.
Absolutely,
and all those
yeah.
things,
Statues on bridges representing the 4 humanities or the different arts or scientific principles or whatever. But the chap who created this is a fellow called Thomas Milnes, and he produced these 4 models in sandstone representing peace, war, vigilance, and determination. And if you can picture a lion sitting in such a pose that represents any of those things, it's quite impressive. One of them looks very, very angry and aggressive. One of them is just sitting there licking his paw in a very peaceful, docile manner.
Yes.
Eventually, the authorities said, "No, we don't like those. We just want 4 big, fat, massive, uniform lions." And so those
what a shame.
Isn't it a shame? But so those sandstone ones were sold off to someone else, to a gentleman called Sir Titus Salt, who was
I've heard of him.
He was a manufacturing and land owner up in Yorkshire, and he had built a village for his workers in the same way that Cadbury built Bourneville and places like that. This place was called Saltaire, near Shipley.
That's why I've heard of it, yes.
That's right. Near Shipley in West Yorkshire. And so he bought these lions that they didn't want to use for Trafalgar Square anymore, and he plopped them up on pillars to the school, the community school that he had built for his workers' village for their kids to learn. And they're still there. So if you go to Saltaire in West Yorkshire, you go to the old mill school, you will find these 4 stone lions that were originally set to be at the base of Nelson's column in Trafalgar Square.
Wonderful.
Isn't that great?
That's really brilliant. I mentioned Jesus as
yes, you did, yes, in passing.
Because there was a children's book, which you may have heard of, called The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Of course. Aslan the Lion.
Aslan the Lion is an allegory
for
Jesus, who gives up his life to save his friends.
And then comes back to life. And
so Aslan was a very interesting character for children to learn from. I think children have learned from lions in all sorts of other... I mean, in the modern world, there was a TV series called Factoraly back in the 60s, I think.
Right.
And there was Clarence the Cross-Eyed Lion.
Was there?
In that, who was a lion who was there to defend all of the African wildlife.
Right.
And then another African lion, very famous, Elsa.
Elsa.
Do you have? You're probably too young to remember Born Free.
Born Free.
Yeah,
as
that one.
Free as that.
So George Adamson and his wife Joy were living in Africa, and George was sort of attacked by a lioness.
Oh right.
So he shot her and killed her, but then he realised afterwards that she had 3 cubs, and so
she was just defending her kids.
So she was only defending her kids. So George and Joy Adamson adopted these 3 lion cubs and raised it to survive in the Serengeti.
Oh.
And Joy Adamson wrote a book about it called Born Free.
Oh, I see.
And that was made into a film with Virginia McKenna and Bill Travers.
With a wonderful
Joy and George.
Wonderful theme tune.
Yes. Matt Monro.
Matt Monro, yes, very good. I think I vaguely remember watching it as a kid. I don't remember anything about it, but yeah. Good soundtrack.
And I think it won an Oscar for Best Music.
Yeah. You can't say the words Born Free without thinking of that tune, can you?
Without going for those two notes.
Exactly. Speaking of lions representing royalty, we talked about the lions on the shirt, the royal crest and so on.
Yeah.
I think we've mentioned this before, but it's one of my favourite facts, and I'll mention it till the cows come home. The Red Lion.
Oh, the pubs.
The pubs. So there are more pubs called the Red Lion in the UK than any other name. It's the most popular pub name in the UK.
Gosh.
And there are over 600 Red Lion pubs in the UK. And there has been some debate as to the origin of this, but the most likely explanation, and therefore, in my mind, complete and utter fact.
Don't forget that Apocrypha on Factoraly is always fact.
It counts. James VI of Scotland, who became James I of England in 1603.
Horrible person.
Yes, indeed. We've touched on him on a couple of other subjects.
Witches. Go and have a listen to Witches.
Yeah.
And you'll find out all about him.
Indeed. Not a great guy.
No.
But he, in 1603, he became the King of England. He was still a little bit hacked off by virtue of the fact that the English had beheaded his mother, Mary, Queen of Scots. And when he became king, he really wanted to stamp his Scottish authority on England. He really wanted us to know that he was here and that we were being ruled by a Scottish king. So he passed a law that his coat of arms should be represented on every public building, town halls.
Every public building?
Every public building. So town halls, official offices, taverns, etc., should in some way or other show his coat of arms. His coat of arms being the red lion rampant on a gold background. So taverns left, right and centre in the early 1600s, for fear of incurring his wrath, they put red lions on their signage. And at a time when a pub's name was, not an awful lot of people could read and write, so a lot of pub signs were pictorial. So loads and loads of pubs suddenly changed their name to the Red Lion, purely because they were showing a red lion outside in accordance with the law laid down by James I. That's why we have so many pubs called the Red Lion.
How about that?
Love that fact.
Another place where you could get a drink, and this is a slight sidebar, if you like, was at a Lion's Corner house.
Okay. Oh, a tea house?
Yes, Lion's tea shops.
Yes, of course.
So Lions were, at one point, they were the largest food company in Europe.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
The first of the tea shops opened in 1894.
Right.
And it's at 213 Piccadilly. It's still a cafe. It's called Ponty's now.
Is it?
And if you go in, you can look at the original stucco ceiling of the Lion's tea shop.
Oh, I'm going to have to visit there.
Yeah. They had 250 tea shops, mostly on corners in London's high streets. And the food and the drink prices were the same in every shop, regardless of where it was. So if it was out in the sticks, it was the same price as it was right in the middle of London.
Right.
And Lion's Blend tea was only available through these tea shops. And the people who served in these tea shops were waitresses who they called nippies.
Nippies?
They were originally called Gladyses. but eventually they decided to call them nippies. And nippies had a very smart uniform. That they would wear a starched cap with a big L in the centre and a black alpaca dress with a double row of pearl buttons. They were really quite smart. And one interesting fact about the nippies, well, there's two actually. One is he employed 7,500 in 1939 nippies in Lion's Corner houses.
Good grief.
And how do you handle the payroll for 7,500 people in 1939?
With difficulty?
Obviously, you have a computer.
No, you don't.
And one of the first, effectively a computer, was created for Lion's Corner House as a payroll computer.
I don't even know what to say. Wow.
The nippies were fantastic. They hired them for their personalities.
Right, okay.
So they had to be nice to people.
Yeah.
And they were very popular, the nippies. Picture Post in 1939 reported there were a total of about 800 to 900 nippy marriages every year. And lions claim that the marriage rate among nippies was higher than any other class of working girl.
Wow.
And the job was, of course, excellent training for a housewife.
Oh my goodness. Huh.
So if you see these shops with J. Lyons and Company Limited,
Yes.
on the front of them, and sort of it's like gold lettering on a white background.
Yes, I can picture it. Yeah.
They were a bit special. They were established in 1885 by people mostly not called Lyons. So there were four entrepreneurs. There's Isidore and Montague Glickstein, Barnett Salmon, and Joseph Lyons.
Some wonderful names.
And they started off being suppliers of catering to the Newcastle exhibition.
Oh, right.
In 1887.
Right. Before branching out into actually having their own premises.
Yeah, into 250 shops.
Gosh.
They're amazing. There's one on Coventry Street, which served 5,000 covers and employed 400 staff.
Man.
There were hairdressing salons. There was a load of telephone booths. There was even a food delivery service. and at some point, Coventry Street was open 24 hours a day.
Really?
It's really special.
Wow, well done, Lyons.
Not bad for lions. Are there any records that lions have achieved over the years?
There are a few, not terribly many, because animals have a tendency to not try for world records very much.
No.
But there are a couple. As soon as you go online and type in world records lions, you get a lot of sporting references.
Oh, Detroit especially, I guess.
Oh,
or the England
English
rugby team,
football and rugby
football
team. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's with the lionesses being all over the news quite recently as well. You
Yes,
sort of get a lot of that. So I ignored all of that. The longest continuous swim ever recorded for a lion.
You forget they can swim.
Yes, you do. Yeah, it doesn't seem right, does it? Generally speaking, in the wild and on any given day, a lion usually can swim up to a couple of 100 meters if it really has to.
Yes.
But there was a team of nature students in Uganda in 2024 who observed a couple of lions who were brothers. And they didn't sort of set them up to do anything, but they were just following them around and videoing them. And these two lions, who they named Tibu and Jacob, they saw these guys going for a swim, not for leisure, to actually get somewhere, and they recorded that they swam 1.5 kilometers.
Wow.
So far further than lions had ever been previously recorded swimming.
Goodness me.
So they have, whether the lions themselves know it or not, they have got the world record for the longest swim by a lion. Another one, we seem to have had quite a lot of these recently, but the largest collection of lion-related paraphernalia.
Stuffed lions.
Stuffed lions, cuddly toys, action figures. It's a fellow in Austria called Reinhard Stockel. He has a collection of 1,761 lion-related items.
Key rings and all sorts.
All sorts. Key rings, toys, T-shirts, hats. Just stuff. Cuddly toys and so on.
Wow.
And then the last one I found, which nothing really to do with lions at all, but I thought I'd throw it in. The fastest completion of the Super Nintendo video game version of The Lion King.
Okay, how fast does somebody do that?
13 minutes and 54 seconds.
That's a waste of 30 quid, isn't it?
Isn't it? You can only assume that they sped up to that. That wasn't just a one-off.
Okay.
But yes, in 1994, Nintendo released a video game version of the movie The Lion King. And this particular chap in 2016 managed to complete that game on difficult mode in 13 minutes and 54 seconds.
Goodness me.
Those are my records.
Very good. Well, lions was an interesting subject, wasn't it?
Yes.
I wasn't expecting it to be quite as all-encompassing and surrounding everyday life.
Absolutely. I don't think I'd realised that lions factor quite as much in the public consciousness as they evidently do.
Yeah.
Hooray for lions.
Well done, lions. So, if you were a lion, would you subscribe to this podcast?
I can't speak on behalf of all lions, but I personally would, yes.
You would, and you do that by going to your podcast player,
indeed,
and just pressing subscribe,
so that every Thursday morning I would get a notification telling me it's time for another episode.
Exactly. Would you tell the rest of your pride that you were listening to it?
Of course, I would go and spread the word by not quite roaring but growling at all of my fellow lions. Go and listen to Factoraly.
And of course, you would look up into the sky and give us as many stars as you could see.
In the constellation Leo.
Yes.
There you go.
Are there 5 in Leo?
I think there's probably more. So as many stars as there are in the constellation Leo, that's how many stars we'd like you to give us.
That's
please.
how many you should give us.
So go and do your research first, then give us that many gold stars as a rating. Thank you very much.
Yes, please do.
Grand. So thank you so much for coming along and listening to us talking about lions. We hope you've enjoyed yourself. Please come again next time for another fun-filled factual episode of
Factoraly.
Brilliant. We both went there. Wonderful. Goodbye.
Au revoir.